Joseph presented before Pharaoh. Joseph presented before Pharaoh. The book of Genesis chapter 41 verse 14 reads, "So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh." The Bible here tells us that Joseph finally was brought before Pharaoh. He was brought before Pharaoh because Pharaoh had dreams that he could not interpret, and nobody could interpret except for Joseph. God created that opportunity for him, and Joseph was called out of the prison, out of the dungeon. Not the prisons that we have today. It was a dungeon. He was called out of it, and he was presented before Pharaoh. Interestingly, the Egyptian culture was different from the Israelite culture. And in fact, when Joseph was taken out of prison, he was dirty, he had bird, he was a mess. But when he went to be presented before Pharaoh, the Bible tells us that Joseph shaved. He changed his clothes. He looked presentable, and then he went before Pharaoh. You know, there are some important things that I would like to encourage you and I to do so that we can be presentable. We can be presentable in order for us to achieve the great things that God wants us to achieve. Number one, we have to smile. In order for us to be presentable, we have to have a pleasing personality. We have to smile. Even when we do presentation, when we go for that job appointment, when we are applying for that job, we have to smile. Show people that we are joyful, that will bring a positive attitude in the workplace. Smile. That's important. Secondly, dressing. It's important for you and I to dress right. To dress right according to the environment that we're going into. Joseph dressed like an Egyptian. And when he stood before Pharaoh, Pharaoh said, "Hey, this is a worthy man for me to even give the kingdom to, so that he can rule as prime minister." You know, dressing is important because it tells a story about your life. The Bible in the book of Proverbs chapter 7 verse 10 talks about this lady who dressed seductively like a prostitute. The Bible simply says she dressed like a prostitute. You know, a person's dressing can cause other people to label them either as a prostitute or as a virtuous lady, to label them as a man who's careless, or as a responsible man who's worthy of promotion. Dress right. Thirdly, be well-mannered. In order for you to be presentable, be well-mannered. Learn to say sorry, please. Learn to apologize. Learn to open doors for other people, open doors for women. Learn to eat right. Be well-mannered. Fourthly, have a graceful speech. Don't use vulgar language. Don't be mean. Don't speak bad words towards others. Don't speak down on others in order to boost your self-esteem. No. Speak kind words, loving words, encouraging words, affirming words, positive words. Have graceful speech. When you're giving a presentation, be respectful to each one of the people, including the people that come to serve your water. Fifth, have wisdom. When Joseph went before Pharaoh, he spoke, every word was filled with wisdom, to a point where Pharaoh was amazed, so much so that he said, "Where can we find anyone with so much wisdom as this man?" You know, Joseph had only one opportunity to stand before Pharaoh, and he used it very well with wisdom. And guess what? Pharaoh appointed him on that very day to be the prime minister of the entire nation of Egypt. Why? Because of wisdom. I encourage you that whenever you are with people, wherever you are, even when you're with your own family members, speak with wisdom. Sixth, Joseph adapted to the Egyptian culture. He learned the Egyptian culture and adapted to it so that he could be presentable before the people. Adapt to the culture of the people that's around you. Learn from them. and serve them better. And lastly, learn to be clean. After Joseph had stayed in prison for a long, long time in a dungeon, when he came out of prison, he did not carry prison with him. You know, there are some people who go through tough times in life, but the challenge is they hold on to those tough times with them wherever they go. They hold on to prison manners. They hold on to the debt and whatever they used to eat on. But when Joseph got out of prison, he left prison and he lived to be this clean gentleman. He made everything that surrounded him excellent. The buildings in Egypt excellent, etc., etc. Why? Because he learned how to present himself. I encourage you, learn how to present yourself. From this day onwards, let the people that surround you be amazed at the way you present yourself. God bless you.